Hey guys, Zaxadaxa here. It has been a while. I've just had a bunch of, living situation change. Before I was living with my parents, and, I could just record videos, in their house. Now I live all on my own because things have changed for me. I've gotten a, full-time job, living all on my own, paying all my own bills. You know, it's pretty nice. I encourage you to, if you're really young and you're wondering about whether making the move out to your own is worth it, it is 100 times over. I'm sorry, I love my mom and dad, but this is 100 times better, easily, than living with them. It's so good. Any drama or whatever, I'm not trash talking them, but anything that happened there, you don't really have to worry about. You can just distance yourself from it. But anyway, that's enough about that. That is not what this is about. Just kind of, I may detail it more at the end of the video, but anyway, one quick thing. I am recording on an iPhone because my laptop crapped out on me, so this is all going to be one take. Yeah, the iPhone doesn't have a pause button in our, advanced technology days. So, I'm trying to maintain eye contact here. I've never recorded on an iPhone like this. I think this is correct eye contact. I can't really tell. I'm gonna have to assume it is. Yeah, anytime you see me looking away, I'm just looking at the chapter to, kind of read it. So here we go. I don't want to spend too much time on the intro. I just want to talk about this because, dude, what kind of One Piece fan would not want to talk about this chapter? Kaido just got fully introduced in the flesh. We got to see some of his personality, part of, what he does. And we got to see Sanji and them again. It's a pretty awesome chapter. So I'd have to be pretty crazy not to review it. So, alright. What do we got here? What do we got? Alright. This is the first page. The chapter's called Suicide. That alone is pretty amusing. Sorry about the movement, but yeah, I've never recorded on an iPhone. Chapter 795. On the cover, we have Nami, doing makeup for a gorilla. Yeah, it's a cute cover page. I think the gorilla's cute, but no one is cuter than Nami. Just that little grin she has on there, it's adorable. Some people talk about, same face with, with Oda's women characters, and yeah, it's a definite prominent thing, but I've never found it so bad that I can't tell who's who. Like, I've seen those images, where they'll put the faces without the hair and stuff, and you have to try to guess who's who. I've never really had a problem with that. They're distinguishable enough. Could they be more distinguishable? Sure, but anyway, that's not the problem I have with them. Moving on from that. Sorry. Okay. Alright, so here we have Fujitora rolling the dice to determine the Straw Hat's fate. Yeah. So just looking at this, Fujitora, first of all. I mean, he's an incredible admiral. I'm already a huge fan of this guy. There were some obvious complaints about him during Dressrosa, because, a big part of his thing was just stalling, and the problem with the way he was stalling is there were definitely innocent civilians getting hurt, but he's more of a, the bigger good is better than, small casualties that are, the greater good wins in the end. He's that type of guy. And he has a really interesting trait, which is, of course, the gambling. And he holds really true to it, and it's awesome. I love this guy. He's, just what he's done in the past few chapters. By the way, I thought chapter 793, I thought that was incredible. That 10 out of 10 chapter. I thought that was an incredible chapter. Akainu and Fujitora facing off, the Gorosei, just so much in that chapter. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so they're deciding the Straw Hat's fate. It rolls on a 1, which is the eye of the Straw Hat, I think, or maybe it's the head. Yeah, eye of the Straw Hat. So Maynard, bitches about the roll, saying that we should still go after them regardless, but he sees how true Fujitora really holds to his results from the gambling, so pretty awesome. So Fujitora does not decide to go after the Straw Hats. Now, that would have been slightly predictable if he had gone after the Straw Hats. I didn't think he would, actually. I did not think he would. I thought that was a red herring from Oda to have his face be all menacing at the end of chapter 793. I thought that was just a distraction. So seems like I was right. I cannot wait to see what this guy is going to do next. If he had went after the Straw Hats, that would have been pretty predictable. So I'm happy it turned out this way. Anything else about that page? I think that's basically it. Let's keep moving. Ah, man, I'm sorry my back hurts. I just got off a closing shift where I work. This page, couldn't find too much to comment about this page. There's a well-deserved rest after a very exhaustive arc. Sorry, moving my arm. It's hard recording on an iPhone. This is a pain in the ass. Yeah, Dressrosa was super long. God, it was nearly 100 chapters. And counting all this stuff, if you still consider this part of Dressrosa, which there are some loose ends of Dressrosa within these, so yeah, this counts to me. Anyway, nearly 100 chapters. The people acknowledge Luffy as their savior, regardless of his affiliation. Rebecca may become princess. I don't really care about that. King Riku's who I find him a lot cooler than Rebecca. Rebecca, I'm not even going to really comment on her. I was not a fan of her during Dressrosa. I never had a real investment in that character. Like, even when she was introduced in the early 700s in the Colosseum, I didn't really care that much. I liked the evasive stuff. I didn't really care about her personality. And, she's hot and all that. So, moving on. Trying to balance this damn iPhone. God, I hate recording like this. Okay, what do we got here? Alright, this is a big page because it is the reintroduction of the Curly Hats. Sanji, Chopper, Nami, Brook, all of them. Pretty exciting stuff. We haven't seen them for, I believe it's a year and a half. I think the latest we possibly saw them was 720s or 730s. I think that's the latest we possibly saw them. Let's see. Let's just read this a bit. Okay. I find it pretty amusing how Caesar is the one chastising them, for being insane, when he was just as insane himself, drugging children to perform, like, gigantism experiments. It just shows how nuts this crew is, and let me look at those trees real quick. Yeah, those trees on that island look a lot like Namek trees. I don't think Oda's gonna try to he may do some short homages here if we have an extended stay on this island, but I don't think he's gonna make any direct homages to, like, the Namek arc from Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, what do we got? What else we got on this page? Oh yeah. Sanji is, like, rocking some pretty sweet shades, and we see that asshole of him coming out, which is neat. I like that Oda, despite his tremendously huge cast, he can still, remember the cores of his characters. Some of the details do get muddled sometimes, but, oh well, it's a gigantic story, and Oda is he's a demigod. He's a god, by whatever. You got Chopper being an asshole, too. Just an asshole this page in general. People yelling at each other. What else we got? Pretty crazy terrain on this island. You see a lot of rolling hills and, yeah, just pretty crazy terrain. Nami lands on Brook on this page, and I'm sure Brook is pretty thrilled with that. I would be too. But, not too much. Let's see. We have a guy on an alligator, who from a distance looks like Frankie, but whatevs. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Brook states the purpose they're here, and he states that they're distracted by a strange little girl. It gives a slight motive for them to be where they are, and which is confusing right now. We don't really know why the Curly Hats are at this location, at this weird-ass island. I presume it's just because they barely escaped Big Mom, but I don't know why they're after this, strange girl. But I'm sure we'll find out. And, man, this video's already getting long. I ramble. Yeah, and there's lots of speech interruptions in this chapter that can kind of make it confusing. And last of all, let's see. Yeah, that guy says something about how did they get on the island. So it seems like it's hard to even get on the island in the first place. So that's kind of cool that they even ended up there. Maybe the island is supposed to be secret. I'm not sure. Anyway, he comments about eruption rain coming down. I cannot say that. And then we see it's basically a volcano burst. You know, pretty new worldy stuff. I always love crazy weather in this manga. If you're a weather fan, you know, it's worth it to read this manga just for that. Not too much going on here. We see, you know, how much of a burden devil fruit users can be in the ocean, which is always fun to see. And okay, so we have the sheep guy come after them, and if I'm looking at this right, it looks like he has like a sheep horn kind of extension off his body. I can't really tell if like his arm turned into a sheep horn, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. That's either a weapon of his, which I kind of doubt. I doubt that's a weapon of his, or that's his body having part of his arm turn into a sheep horn. So that may possibly be an advanced type of Zoan, because just from my recollection, I know people can turn parts of their body into elements, but not so sure we've seen them turn in any part into like a straight animal part. I don't know. I would have to kind of go through my memory to remember that. But yeah, Brook blocks that hit pretty easily despite the hit looking pretty fierce. But yeah, even Brook comments, you know, what is this power? It may be a new yet unclassified type of a devil fruit. It's not going to be a new devil fruit, but possibly a subtype of a devil fruit. And then next page, we have Sanji come in for the kill. Pretty sweet kick here. This page is pretty chaotic, but I like the way it's shown. Sanji just utterly roasts this dude. It's pretty sweet. Sorry for not always making eye contact. You know, I'm recording on an iPhone. What else? What else we get? Sorry. Okay. Not too much, sorry. Okay, so the guy's name, sorry about that long pause. The guy's name seems to be Sheep's Head Sama? I can't say it. Sheepsheed Sama? That makes no sense to me. It has to be Sheep's Head Sama to me, which is just fucking weird. But it seems to be a pretty big deal that they defeated him. You know, they say, who the hell are these guys? Because they managed to defeat what seems like their leader. And yeah, we have a cute Sanji moment here. Which, by the way, he seems to have controlled his nose bleeding and all that stuff. All the crazy, you know, out-of-control nose bleeding he had on Fishman Island. Yeah, it's just a simple, and who the hell are you here? So he doesn't seem to have the same problem anymore, which is what I was looking for. Everyone knew it was coming if you're even a half-decent One Piece reader. But yeah, he's going to get more relaxed with this, you know, women's stuff later on, and I think it's going to develop into something. I don't think Oda would have had all of that happen just for the drama of it. I think he's going to go somewhere with Sanji's character development with all that, you know, nose bleeding over women stuff and then slowly, you know, kind of recovering. There's got to be somewhere he's going with it, but yeah. Oh, what else do we have? Yeah, they talk about a samurai, so that's kind of why this group is mingled here. They seem to be searching for a samurai. I'm not going to say too much about that. Obviously, it's going to be a tie-in later, but I can't really comment too much about it right now. It's just too vague at the moment. Yeah, we see the girl they were searching for on this page. She looks to be like a reindeer or a dog to me. I think those are both incredibly safe bets. Yeah. I like the design. I think it's simple. I like how you can see the little water droplets off of her. Just, yeah, it's fine. Now this part is interesting. At the very end of that page where you see the reindeer girl, Chopper says to come here quick. She says that to everybody. He says that to everybody. And it shows a zoom in on the, on Sheepshead. God, I hate that name. Sheepshead Sama, on his emblem, on what he has on his belt. And that seems to me, going later, to the chapter to Kaido, that seems to be Kaido's symbol. Because you have the horns. I don't know about all the crossbones. There seems to be one. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually 2 extra crossbones, so there's like 4 crossbones total. Or, anyway, 4 bones total. But, yeah, he seems to definitely be a henchman of Kaido's, so by extension that group was, the henchman of Kaido. Let's move on. That's an interesting part. Especially with how he wasn't that much trouble to defeat. And Sanji is not all that strong. He struggled, against Virgo. Anyway, we open to, a scene change. Kid is having an explosion happen. It's pretty huge. Let's see. And we see that it's body shaped. And okay, I love this part. While they're trying to figure out all that, you see a panel to the left that says, "The strong live and the weak die. That is the only law of this world." Come on. Everybody knows, if you've been a One Piece fan long enough, that Oda was an assistant to the author of Rurouni Kenshin. The strong live and the weak die. That's not even incredibly similar. That is Shishio Makoto's, philosophy. It's a simplified version of Darwinism. Sojiro had it as well. But I just think that's really neat. So, since that was seen in that panel, and all the that bubble, I'm going to call it like a narrative bubble. Anyway, all those same type of bubbles were devoted to Kaido, so I'm very excited. I think that's going to be like Kaido's philosophy. The strong live and the weak die. I'm excited for that. I'm sorry, I just think it's cool as hell to have that philosophy. I believe it to a large extent, but I'm not going to say the weak should die. I'm saying they do. But if you're weak in this world, you are much more susceptible to death. I'm not saying you should die, but anyway. Yeah. So, let's keep going. They talk about the Sky Islands. They're taking pretty huge hits from just this bodily impact. Okay, now we go up to Irouge. And I find this part pretty amusing. Irouge is just like, "What are you up to, my friend?" And the rest of them, "Leave him alone!" And, everybody's all worried about him. I've always found it pretty cool how Irouge just calmly assesses all the situations. And it also goes along with, like, his, being the ideal of a priest or being holy. And we're getting to the meat of the chapter here. Okay. Now, this is where the chapter takes a turn for the truly interesting. The narrative shifts, and it just completely focuses on this person who's just trying to kill themselves. I love this part of the chapter. Who doesn't? You have to be insane not to like this. Anyway, it goes through his suicide attempts, how he's trying to jump off of a sky island. It details all his defeats, interestingly. 7 defeats, sorry, that's not a lot. For an extensive pirate career in One Piece, that's not a lot. 7 defeats, that ain't shit. Captured 18 times. Tortured endlessly, that's a very interesting part. Let's keep on going. Okay, and then we see him crash into the island, which of course connects it to what's happening with Kid and all them. These panels, the way they detail the amount of times he survived various fates, this really reminds me of Whitebeard's death. Like, he survived however many sword wounds to the front and cannonballs and all that. And this really reminds me of that. I think it's supposed to be a homage to that. I think so. And an interesting part of this is, he cannot die. The chains break and the guillotines, you know, they shatter. Whatever method you try to kill this man with, they simply do not work. People are wondering if it's mystical, or if the man is just simply that strong, and it's of course Kaido. I don't know why I'm saying that man. But, and yeah, it goes to how the man is unkillable. Kaido. And what else we got? Alright. Here's the full introduction page. 100 Beast Kaido. My good lord, this is incredible. We've waited so long for this, and he looks incredible. But anyway, I'm going to comment a little more about that page before I get into his design and all that. Yeah, he's such a big deal that, you know, he's into the culture of places. You know, people call people a Kaido if they're really tough, you know, if you would bet on them in a fight. Okay, now this part. It says, this pirate is known as the strongest living creature. That is the translation. This is how I interpret it. I believe this is the common interpretation. That to me means among all living things, among all pirates, among all humans, among all beasts, creatures, whatever, that he's just the strongest. Some people seem to interpret it differently, but to me, Kaido is the strongest living thing on One Piece's planet that there is. That is how it is to me. He's just simply the strongest. So we've finally been introduced to the very strongest creature, you know, who's not addled by, like, medical problems, you know, like Whitebeard was, Kaido. So, then we get to him talking about Joker, and it seems like he's unaware of Joker's fate, even with a messenger or anything. Yeah, he just seems unaware of it. What else? Okay, and of course a really interesting panel at the end there, that he wants to ignite the greatest war, you know, that the planet has ever seen. He seems to be a very, just start shit, you know, aggressive type of guy, you know, a warmonger, basically. And let's see. Keep going through the pages. Alright. Oh. It seems like the theme of overconfidence and getting crushed seems to be continually reintroduced with Kid and his whole crew. Kid was, you know, all confident, saying, oh, we're gonna take down Shanks, it's gonna be so fun, guys. And then, this cannot have even been 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later, who knows, whatever, it was a very short time later. The strongest man in the world, Kaido, comes crashing down just on their hopes and dreams, and, you know, Kid is just like, son of a bitch. So, I just find it kind of funny. Like, Oda does not usually let plans stay intact for very long. Just trying to see the time. Yeah, he doesn't let plans stay intact for very long. The plans are going to take their alternate route. They're going to get ruined. That's always been a very interesting thing with One Piece, that, you know, plans get shattered quick. So you have to find, you know, a backup strategy. Alright. Anything I haven't really talked about? I've talked about most of this chapter. Yeah, I think I've got it all. Oh, yeah! Holy shit, the design. How did I forget about the design? The design is incredible. We have giant horns on him that are, of course, reminiscent of Oar's horns. Whatever Oar's, you know, his species. There's an obvious scaly tattoo. Looks like a dragon. There's a skull on the end of it. Could be, you know, whatever. He has spiked bracelets. A giant scar that looks similar to Luffy's, but at the same token, you know, a lot of Oda's scar textures look similar, so that's not supposed to be any illusion or anything. Which is, of course, the illusion with an A. Yeah. This is an incredible chapter. Even though, you know, I'm not disappointed with Sanji, you know, the crew, the way they were introduced. I think it was plenty interesting enough. I wasn't expecting them to have some, like, godlike moment. You know, I mean, yeah, they've been absent for a long time, but I think at the end of the day, that was just Oda saying, okay, alright, I have way too many characters in this arc. I need to shove some of them away, and unfortunately those were main characters, but it was, to me, even though it was intriguing to wonder what happened to them, it was Oda just putting up his palms and saying, okay, I need to handle this. Sorry guys, some of the characters have to go away for a while. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting anything, you know, grand when Sanji and them came back. It seems to be an interesting enough story. So, I'm not the type to get hung up over that. Anything else about the chapter? I think that's about it. Yeah, the design is very well done. It surpassed all of my expectations. Like, this is a 10 out of 10 design. Like, there is literally no way Oda could have improved this design. It's perfect. It's a perfect Yonko design. Which, for that matter, besides Big Mom being ugly, I think actually all of the Yonko, every single one of them have a, like, perfect design. But Kaido's is the best. Up there with Shanks. Shanks and Kaido have the best designs. But Kaido is possibly inching ahead. I just like Shanks' simplistic design. But my god, this video is already pretty long. So, what else? I had a few more things. Yeah. I thought the chapter was very good. I already pretty much stated that. Reviewing. Let's talk about that a bit. Alright. So, yeah. The reason I'm recording on an iPhone, I think I already said it at the beginning. I don't know, this was all one take. I'm recording on this because my laptop broke. What really happened was the charger broke. And so recording is exhaustive on the PC, and so recording, you know, with my current PC would last like 5 minutes a take, and then I would have to charge for 3 hours. It's just not very enticing, you know, for it to be that much of a hassle. I actually really love reviewing. I love getting my thoughts out about things. I love, you know, sharing my opinions. I just love talking about things. There you go. Things are fun to talk about. That's as simple as it is. And yeah, I'm more in a situation where I'm able to buy equipment, able to buy media to review, so my life has changed a lot since I was previously reviewing, like a lot. So it's up to me now just to do whatever I want to do. So I'm all on my own, and I fucking love it. Like I said before in the video, if you're worried about the move out on your own, it's incredibly worth it to me, even if you're kicked out, which I wasn't. But if you consider it from an outside perspective and you look at like the way life kind of handled it, yeah, I was kind of kicked out. Like, I was forcibly removed. They didn't kick me out like, oh, you can't live here anymore. It's they couldn't sustain me anymore because they kind of messed up. But anyway. What else? Yeah, I'm in a better place too. Like, I don't have to worry about family members walking in while I'm reviewing, or, you know, the dog barking like crazy, which I have had happen. And yeah, I have a lot more income to review things, which I touched up upon. And I'm not gonna just straight up disappear, but we'll see where this ends up. I just review just because it's good for me. It's a nice outlet. I love just to share my opinion on things. Even I'm the type of person who tries to keep this in mind with future reviews of mine if they're watched. You know, this is really just an outlet for me. I'm not gonna care too much about view counts. Keep in mind with me that I'm the type of person I try with all my heart to absorb something and to appreciate it fully. The only exception is if it's extremely objectively terrible, like say something like Birdemic, but if it's decent, I'm going to try my best to... I like to raise things up, I don't like to break them down. So I'm the type of person that just tries to appreciate something. I don't know if there's like some term you can call that. I'm not necessarily optimistic, I'm positive. I wouldn't say I'm optimistic, but anyway, whatever. Yeah, if I get this reviewing thing full speed, which I want to review current movies, and even if they're crap, I just want to talk about them. It's just fun. And I don't want to review just anime and manga if I get this thing going full speed. I'm of course going to get better equipment than an iPhone. I still have my webcam. It's in some storage box, which is like, I have a hunch that's in my closet, which luckily, you know, this is a new apartment. It's not too messy right now, but my apartment is a mess otherwise. But yeah, I'm gonna try not to just straight up disappear. I will at the very least talk about the next One Piece chapter. Speaking about One Piece a bit, these last 3 chapters have been utterly incredible. I thought Dressrosa as a whole, I thought it was the best post-time skip arc. To me, it doesn't really touch the pre-time skip arcs, but that to me was a different One Piece. If you're looking for a guy who thinks post-time skip One Piece is the best thing ever, I am not that guy. I thought Dressrosa was good to very good at certain moments. Pretty much everything from chapter 760-ish on, I would put as great to very good, you know, just kind of in that range. I thought that's where Dressrosa really picked up. Anyway, that's gonna about do it for this video. Yeah, I'm gonna review 796. It may not be day of. This certainly isn't day of, but yeah, I just had to talk about this, dude. This was an incredible chapter. You know, Kaido reveal. How could I not talk about that? And that's about it. I may not even record on the iPhone next time. I might possibly be able to set up this laptop I'm using, which is a Linux laptop, and the webcam doesn't work on this one. So, you know, I can work with Linux, however you want to say it. I can work with it. It's just not very compatible with a lot of things, including my iPhone. So, I'm in a bit of a pickle with this recording situation. If I'm forced to, I'll review with my iPhone tomorrow. Anyway, that's enough, dude. Yeah. If anyone is watching this, if anyone remembers me, I'll see you next time. I'm still just going to talk about the chapters regardless, even if no one's watching, so see you later.